Today's Tuesday, July 14, 2020, and welcome to the special board meeting of the San Benito CSD Board of Trustees by video conference or telephone call. And we begin this meeting at 7:49 p.m. 1.2, oh, I'm sorry. Roll call. Ms. Weaver? Ms. Silva?
Here.
Ms. Garcia? Mr. Mendez? Mr. Olivares?
Present.
Mr. Rosas?
Present.
Dr. Carmen?
Present.
Mr. Torres?
Present.
Thank you all. We'll move on to agenda item 1.2, public comment. Mr. Torres?
Yes, we have two public comments regarding both agenda items this evening. The first we've already heard, but it was identified as in the special meeting as well. So I have to read it. It's from Miss Mary Maney, and it's regarding the desktopper item. I realize this is also being addressed in the special meeting 2.1, so I will cover my concerns here in one location, and you can repeat it if needed in the special meeting. And being that she identified it in her public comment request as 2.1, I have an obligation to repeat it. So here we go. Desktoppers are going to be a necessity in the upcoming year, so it is good that you're being proactive. Part A, here are some questions that I have about getting the desktoppers. Are they going to be for all classrooms at all grade levels? How will this affect the wearing of masks in school? Using these shields, how many students are you allowing in a classroom? Part B, here's the problems that I see if you go with the ones from Ferguson that are recommended in the special meeting notes. Please note the ones recommended in the finance agenda are Gulf Coast, which have a view panel in the middle. The Ferguson trifolds are opaque. Teachers cannot see the students and students cannot see the teacher. Anything being done on the board or as a demonstration by the teacher is not going to be seen by the students unless it is being remotely viewed in the class. Ferguson is listed as having two sizes, but no measurements are given to determine which one would work in the classroom, since not all classes have the same size desks. I appreciate your time and consideration of my comments. I hope that you can address some of my concerns in your discussion of the above items. As always, I do appreciate the fact that you've taken a proactive stance on the safety of both students and staff. Thank you again. The second public comment item pertains to action agenda 2.2, discussion and possible action to amend the 2020-2021 school calendar, and it was submitted by Adan Oseguera. It reads as follows. Thank you, board members, for your time and the opportunity to speak. I again want to thank all of you for your leadership during these times. I'm encouraged by the superintendent's recommendation to delay the start of the school year by 2 weeks, and I'm looking forward to its approval. I hope this is the beginning of a proactive approach for educating our children during this pandemic. Neighboring school districts have opted for remote learning to start the school year. Maybe this is being considered for SBCISD as well. The upcoming logistical challenges are going to be tough. How will we handle bus transportation? What will be done about ventilation in classrooms when children and staff will be indoors for 8 hours a day? Are uniforms still going to be required, considering the economic situation with a lot of our parents? What benchmarks and indicators will be assessed to determine the safety for opening? I trust that the board will take appropriate action and find the right answers.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. Thank you. And I want to thank the two public comments. Thank you all so much for your input. Let's move on to our action agenda 2.1, discussion possible action to approve the purchase of desk shields for students, district-wide. Dr. Carmen?
Yes, sir. Mr. Lopez, for our committee meeting, the recommendation from administration is for the Gulf Coast 4,400 desk dividers.
Can I have a motion, please?
I move that we accept it.
I have a motion by Ms. Silva. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Olivares. All in favor by the show of hands, please. Motion carries. Okay, move on to 2.2, discussion and possible action to amend the school calendar, Dr. Carmen?
Yes, sir. So here in front of you, you have the proposed changed calendar for 2020, 2021. As you can see, if you compare it to our original school calendar, this begins everything 2 weeks later. So that means our new teachers will report on the 17th of August instead of the 3rd. Other teachers will report on the 19th instead of the 5th. Instruction would be on the 26th instead of the 12th. I want to be clear, we're still talking remote instruction here on August 26th. For TEA right now, we know we have 3 full weeks before we have to provide any live instruction. Apparently the governor also commented today, and I think we'll do a press conference tomorrow, but it looks as if that will be extended. Additionally, our county judge issued an order through at least September 8th before live instruction could start. It's very possible that will be extended as well. So August 26th just means remote instruction starts. When live instruction starts, depends on when it's safe for our students to be back up in the schools. Beginning here in August, though, some of our staff will be in the buildings. And so this calendar gives us 2 additional weeks. Hopefully we can see the trend go down in the infection rate before we start seeing a few more people in our buildings.
Dr. Carmen, I have a question. So I'm all for moving it. Okay, and I'm all for virtual learning as well to keep everybody safe. But is there any way, Doctor, we can start working on a plan or roll out a plan so teachers don't have to come to the schools, Doc, and we can do everything remotely? Is that feasible since the kids are not going to be in school instead of having teachers or traffic coming into the school district?
So we did that in the spring. We had some technology issues, but yes, we can have some hotspots for those teachers. I'm not sure we have to have them up there. I'm certainly of the mindset that we don't have to have them up there every day. There may need to be a time they come up to plan if Zoom gets a little difficult to plan with a grade level team, for example. But I think for the most part, we can keep the instructional staff remote. Again, that'll be addressed through our task force, and we'll bring a plan to the board. But there are some positions I don't think can be remote, but I think most of our teaching probably can. Some hands-on things. They may need to be in the lab or in the appropriate setting to be able to demonstrate. But I think for the majority, yes, sir, they would be able to be remote as well.
Right. So what this does is, I mean, because I foresee the most minimal amount of traffic better. You know, it's better for everyone, of course. So I know, Doc, and I'm going to lead this conversation, and I'm going to let the board members chime in. I think it's been an ongoing struggle, this unprecedented time, to keep everybody, of course, first and foremost in our prayers, but second of all, to make sure that we keep everybody safe. I've said this time and time again, there's no putting a price tag on anybody's life. So I know we're doing our best we can. I just want our constituents and our parents and all our administration to understand that, and Dr. Carmen, you keep them very well aware of what's going on, but there's constant information coming in from our local, and our state governments and our school and the education commissioner as well. And it's not clear cut. So we're going to do everything we can to keep our kids safe, our teachers safe. And I have a very strong gut feeling that this is not the last conversation we're going to have. We're going to probably have a special board meeting here coming up pretty soon and discuss other avenues to push the calendar year maybe into September or maybe even to the end of September to October. So there's we're keeping all our options available. I just want to first and foremost thank our parents for being patient and our staff as well. But this is unprecedented time, so we all got to work together and collaborate to come up with a plan to make sure that everybody feels safe and comfortable, and everybody is everybody's well-being is the first and foremost at the top of our list. So at this moment, any other board members want to say anything?
I do. I had something to say.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you hear me?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, as we already know, Governor Abbott will be speaking tomorrow. We don't know what he's going to tell us, But I do want to address you guys and tell you that, as we already know, we're in a situation, a real bad epidemic that we have, that we've never seen before, and it scares everybody. It's the coronavirus. Now, the coronavirus came in roaring very quietly without us noticing anything. I think we knew something was happening back in January and February when we were in Galveston on our meets, but then all of a sudden it's just, without warning, it ferociously affected many people's lives. It ruined the lives of many people here and all over the world. According to the information, 134,000 people are dying and more each day. It affected the education of our kids. As you all know already, we had to do something, so we went remote March, April, and May. And I think we did well. It was all new to us. Yes, there was a lot of problems with the teachers and trying to get them to learn something different and new, and some already knew, but it was very hard for both teachers and the students. Parents and teachers and counselors, all these students are hesitant to go back to school. If we send our teachers back to school, what are we to say that if the children are there, if the children are not going to get the virus or vice versa, then who's going to pay for this? Is it worth sending our kids to school? The anxiety level of these parents, of these children, the stress level, the depression is so high. People are panicking. The anxiety that our community has, not just us, but the whole valley, and of course the whole world. To many parents and teachers, it's just too soon to send our kids back home. Yes, we like the idea of starting late, but still, we're starting. We're going to have contact. And it's good that we do the first 3 weeks of remote. Is it enough? Again, we don't know what the governor will say, and even TEA. From what I understand, TEA is working remotely too, there at their homes. Yet our kids, they're thinking about sending our kids and opening up the school. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. The governor, TEA, the legislature, they got to give in. They have to give in. It's not fair. It's not right. I'm going to quote what Admiral Brett Gior said the other morning. We are in a better place today than we've ever been. I don't agree with him. No, we're not. We're still, we don't want to send kids to school with the probabilities that they're going to get ill. And then what? Then we have all these teachers and custodians and all these aides, these professionals, the secretaries, the counselors. I'm covering everyone. We all have illnesses, and one is affected more than the other. Look how many diabetic teachers we have and staff. Look how many kids we have who are ill. I just think that we're going into this too soon into the classroom. I want to quote what Dr. Asiam Zamar, a gynecologist of Brownsville, said. It is absolutely not right to go back to school, even if you send a third of the kids back. And I'm going to leave you with this. I just want to say, as a former teacher and now a school board member, I am a parent, I am a grandparent too. I understand that education is very important, and I understand that our students would love to go back to school. I understand that all parents want the consistency of their lives. I understand that we all want our lives to go back to normal. I understand teachers and the staffs here in San Benito are very committed to their jobs and students, but not for the price of losing just one child or losing any children. Not during this pandemic. This pandemic that we are facing in our community and all around the world, it's not forgiving. People are sick and the cases are rising. I would love for our students to go back to school. I would love for the teachers to go back and get their teaching, but not at the price of our children. our employees, parents. Parents stress is in providing a loving, nurturing, and safe environment for their children. We have always provided a safe environment, am I right? For all our children to come to school and study on a daily basis, socializing with their classmates. But all this time, I believe that the safest place is at home. We need to protect our community, our administrators, teachers, and staff, our students and their families. I believe we need to agree on providing remote learning for all students for the remainder of the fall semester, and if needed, to include second semester. Please, parents, please, board members, Dr. Carmen and the rest of you, please stay home and protect your families and yourselves. Foremost, please wear your mask wherever you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Silva.
You're welcome.
That just goes to show that, all our hearts in the right place. I mean, like I've said this before, I'm a parent first. So, it is a very, devastating time right now, chaotic time. And, it's, our area is very unique, and it's very, it's very obvious. There's decisions that are being made in areas that are not in our local area, and want to push down certain guidelines and so on and so forth. But I think we as a board and locally, I think we need to come together and do what's right and what's safe
You're
for
right.
our
Absolutely
community
right.
and our demographic area. And but I really appreciate those words, Ms. Silva. And also, Doc, if I may, I don't know if this might be the right time to discuss it or maybe not, but Doc, let's say things do change and we start instruction here, remote instruction, Doc. Is there anything that we can do to start somehow, some way, since I know the financial times are extremely difficult right now in this whole situation, and maybe see if we can somehow come up with some funds to help out our kids with with any type of some potential school supplies that they might need at home for instruction. I know it's a daunting task, but right now I know finances is hurting everybody. I know this whole situation economically, especially if they shut everything down again. So I'm just thinking, just trying to be proactive to make sure that, we've said this all along, and we're going to continue to do it, Doc, to make sure that our kids have what they need. And if we have to go above and beyond to do so, then so be it. And then also, somehow reach out to our teachers and see what other stuff they may need at home, or some type of materials that they may need to facilitate this ongoing process.
Okay, go ahead.
If you recall, the last 2 years, we had a back to school fair
Missed it, but-
Yes, sir.
where we gave out thousands of dollars worth of school supplies to our kids. Mr. Luis Gonzalez mentioned making this a remote, that's whether it's a drive through or whatever it works out to be. But yes, we do want to be able to provide school supplies, and we understand it's probably going to be a much larger task this year because there will be more who are in need. But yes, we will work toward that. And I appreciate what all the board members are saying thus far. And please understand that on this calendar, August 26th means remote. I have no intention of bringing anything to the board to start live instruction until it's safe. Whether there are repercussions from the state or not, I guess we'll see down the road. But what this calendar does do is it provides us with the additional 2 weeks, again, before we start having a few more people in our buildings. And hopefully we see a drop in the infection rate. But August 26th, it's remote instruction start.
Dr. Carmen, in respect to beginning on August 26th, my understanding is that we already went through a laptop drive, correct? Can you hear me?
So are you saying we order more laptops? Or what
No. We already have we have a number of laptops already out there distributed, correct? So if that's the case, are we going to go through the process of collecting them and redistributing them, or are we just going to let them stay with it and begin planning on for example, hotspots? I know that one of the concerns that was brought up is that I know that there's 20% that want to send their kids, and for some odd reason why, I mean, I'm assuming that it's because of the access to computers and the network capabilities. What are we going to do to help them alleviate that problem? For example, those individuals that are out there in the outskirts of San Benito, are we going to provide them with hotspots? Are we going to provide them? I think that's important to have that discussion and begin sharing that information with the community. You know, and definitely, you know, I'm in agreement with Mr. Lopez and Ms. Silva in respect to the to delaying it. We need a plan for online instruction for the entire semester of fall. I mean, in reality, and begin finding out ways on how we can improve that instruction versus going back and forth and, oh, we're going to start with halfway or hybrid or whatnot. And I get it, you know, we've got that contingency plan, but the realistic of this pandemic, and we see it today, it's probably not going to go away in the fall semester. And I think the best thing to do is to really begin figuring out ways to help out the entire community as a whole. For example, with funding on school supplies or resources for teachers and whatnot. I think that's very important. In addition to that, I think the other thing is the availability or accessibility from teachers remotely to our administration or administrators. That discussion has to begin happening. And I'm pretty sure it's already happening, but I want to make sure that the community knows that it is happening. Let them know, hey, look, we got it. We're going to help you out as much as we can. We're going to try to keep you all safe and whatnot. You know, it's it is devastating, and by all means, you know, I'd be the last person to send my kids in, you know, when it opens, and that's just the way I'm thinking about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, I was watching the news pretty late sometime back, and where they, like Mr. Mendez talking about hotspots, where they're using their buses with the Wi-Fi, and they're parking them in remote areas during the day for they can use the Wi-Fi. And another thing that's one, I don't know if we're doing it or we're gonna plan on doing that, but it's an idea. And another one is you mentioned about, I agree with you as far as getting more computers, laptops. I mean, for the kids, if we can help them, they're essential for their type of life that's coming ahead of them. They're computer kids. They're computer kids. Me, Zoom, I barely knew how to do this. And I talked to one of those kids, and man, 10-year-old tore it,
Yep.
tore it apart. But you know, it's the world, so it's going to be benefit our kids if we need them. So if you think we need them, make us a recommendation. If it's possible, let's go for it.
Okay, so there were a few points brought up there between Mr. Mendez and Mr. Rosas. I'll make sure I touch on each of them. I'll start with laptops. So the board approved 2,500 Chromebooks already. They've been ordered. And that gives us enough to have one-to-one for a laptop or Chromebook to every student. We had one-to-one counting iPads, but those are not going to be beneficial for some of the instruction that's going to be taking place. So that Chromebook order will make sure that even if every student needs a laptop or Chromebook, we will have one for them. Second, we did a survey, and we had over 1,800 households respond, representing a little over 4,000 of our students, so a little over 40% responded. We took that data and we have estimated a number of hotspots. We're finalizing a quote. You should see it on Monday's regular agenda for 1,600 hotspots that we plan to a year's worth of service for.
Wow.
First started thinking about it, we started thinking about students. 10,000, that's an awful lot. But then as we got the survey results back, it made more sense because there's many households with multiple children.
The brothers and sisters.
Right.
Yeah.
They just need one per household. So we think that 1,600 will be close. However, we also have 400 that we purchased for summer school. And they'll be, their service will run out in August, but we can reactivate them at any time. So even if we're a little off at that 1,600, we could make it 2,000 very, very quickly. As far as the buses, I believe we have in the budget enough to outfit 12 of our buses and put them out in remote areas. The challenge is that the range is very limited. People were having better luck parking them in a parking lot, and then people could drive up close to it and be able to access the Wi-Fi. The problem there, though, is people were congregating and they had to break that up. But we are looking at that. It is in the budget. I think it's 12 is the number of buses we plan on outfitting in that manner, and that we will put those out in the community as well. The laptops that are checked out right now are just those for summer school. I don't have a hard number on that. I know it's a few hundred, but certainly those summer school kids who've got them, yes, we would not have to have them check them in and check them back out. They could keep those. Now the students from the spring have all of those checked in. So it's only going to be a few hundred probably that have laptops out right now, but it'll save us come August, less interaction, and it would go quicker because we will not check those in from summer school. So yes, sir.
Dr. Carmen, remember back, 3-4 months ago, you all were selling these laptops, right? Was it the iMacs? Do we have any more of those available? I did see some of those big computers. I don't know what they call their iMacs. Remember the big purple iMacs? I saw a room full of those that they were going to be probably sold later on this coming year. What are the possibility of us having those old iPads or notebooks or whatever we have that were going to be sold to the public? Do we have any more of those?
I believe we still have some, but based on their age and
Okay.
we have newer ones for our
Yeah.
students. The processing time is going to be much quicker. If
Yeah, you're right.
we needed to access those, we could.
Yeah.
But I think with this last order, we have an adequate number
Enough.
for our students. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Run short for some reason. Yes, we do have some of those older ones available.
All right, board members, I want to thank you guys so much for your input. As you guys will know, I mean, this conversation is far from being over. I know this is just a minor change in the calendar, but we're going to continue moving forward, you know, and putting our best foot forward for our kids and our staff. And we'll be, I can guarantee you, we're going to be meeting again pretty soon. So let's all work together to make sure that we provide the best safety, you know, for our kids. And then also, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we do have an obligation to educate our kids as well. So let's all be, let's all stay, you know, open-minded and positive throughout this whole process. And I really appreciate all you guys' input. Thank you all very much. So
Thank
can I have a
you.
motion? Can I have a motion, please, to approve the calendar? I have a motion by,
So moved.
okay, I have a motion by Mr. Mendez. Can I have a second, please? I have a second by Mr. Olivares, with all show of hands. Okay, motion carries. Let's move on to 3.1, adjournment. Can I have a motion, please? I have a motion by Mr. Mendez. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rosas. All in favor, please say aye or show of hands.
Aye.
Okay, we adjourn this meeting, this special board meeting, exactly at 8:17 p.m. Thank you all very much. Y'all take care and stay safe.